It is just amazing. The textures here are just out of control. So what are these that we're eating?
Okay, this one is nem. Nem is the generic term for any kind of spring roll. Okay, so these are fresh nem made with green papaya salad. There's a little shredded pig's ear in there. Some nem chua, which is the fermented pork sausage. A little bit of dried beef. And probably a little bit of dried prawn, because prawn and pork in almost everything.
Oh, the flavors in this spring roll are singular. I mean, there is nothing like this combination of herbs and pig's ear and fermented sausage. Thank you very much.
También.
Ooh.
Wet and cold, perfect day for a big steaming soup, huh?
It is, it is. What is this, the crab soup?
Yes, it's called bunzio pua. It's tomato-based, it's very seafoody, it's really delicious. For me, it's like the standout dish of Hanoi. I love this one.
This restaurant only has two things on its menu: this soup and glass noodles. The soup is always on the burner here, so service is fast and there's a constant flow of customers.
Oh, that looks delicious.
Oh, I'll move the...
Okay. Oh, that is a killer
Hot
chili
chilies?
paste. Yeah.
It looks like there's a little already sort of floating in there.
That's actually the crab.
Wow. And there are as many ingredients in this bowl as there are styles of food that we've seen on the streets today. It's incredible.
It's great, isn't it?
Our tour of Hanoi street food has to include the one dish synonymous with northern Vietnamese cuisine: pho.
So is this the restaurant?
Well, this is the kitchen,
Yeah.
and just down the alley you'll find the dining hall.
How does this happen on a street where you have all of these sort of soup restaurants that are overloaded with chairs and sort of like big popular dining rooms? Here we have a kitchen that's the size of half a card table.
Well, it's kind of old school, you know. She's just got what she needs.
On a day with better weather, we'd likely be sitting on the street or perhaps in this alleyway. But since it's raining, we get the living room.
Thank you. This is someone's house.
Yeah, a lot of people will actually run a business out of their house, which is why street frontage is so important to Vietnamese people when they're looking for property.
Pho originated in this part of the country, but its origins are Chinese. It's a noodle soup dish that features beef and beef broth with thin strips of meat, fresh rice noodles, and spices such as cinnamon, star anise, ginger, and cloves. Pho is considered the quintessential Vietnamese food, mainly because it provides an entire meal in one bowl.
You gotta smell it. You can smell the cinnamon and the star anise. It's quite beefy.
The pho here is typically rustic, with several cuts of beef in the bowl. Short rib, beef tendon, and beef meatballs, garnished with a French flourish, small little pastry batons for dipping.
Oh, that's good. What do you say we go get a cup of coffee?
Sounds like a good idea.
You know a good place?
I do.
No Starbucks here. The attraction at this place is something called civet coffee.
Table number 2, a fitting number considering the type of coffee that we're having.
Indeed it is.
Yes, believe it or not, this coffee comes from the back end of a furry little mammal. Now, this has to be high on the list of all-time bizarre foods. A civet cat is a small mongoose-like animal, and the coffee is made from the undigested coffee beans that have been eaten by the civet. While the beans are still in berry form, they're digested by the civet and then deposited onto the jungle floor. The beans are gathered, roasted, and served like any other coffee.
I mean, just the normal coffee process is bizarre enough in itself, but then picking it out of a pile of poop, that is surprisingly good.
It's fabulous. And you know something? I can't tell that it was expelled from some wild animal's derriere, but you can tell this coffee is different. It has a really long finishing note, and it's a little smoky and peaty tasting almost.
Just what I needed, a little coffee boost to get me back to my